Young kid raised to be a crook, 12 years old on the block selling dope. Forced into the streets, threw up his mother and brother to eat, with a father nobody had seen in weeks. Uncle locked up in a prison cell, everyone wondering if he'd also end up in jail. But he could ball, maybe even make it to the league one day, but he started to doubt that he'd ever be able to run that way. Since nobody on the block had made it, he decided to join a crew, forced to become a blood or a crip. Whichever road he decided would change the course of his life. Then his pops came home and smacked him in the lip. Bruised and torn, he ran to his room, pulls out the clip, popped into the gun, points it straight to his brain. Tears running down his face, but then the thought pops into his head. He decides to shoot his father dead, leaving behind a puddle of blood and sorrow. Now he's forever stuck in the hood. He runs from home to never return. He came upon the group that would change his life. He'd forever burn. The group of thugs handed him a knife and said, "Good job, kid, you did what was right." He was in, passed the test, only 16 years old, but his life was messed. He finally had the family he'd always wished of, so they posted him on the block, handed him a brand new Glock, and told him to start slinging this new crack rock. He begins to think about his life and where it's headed, down the sink, but it's far too late. He can't even blink before he's on top, but he's got coldness in his heart, only to find out his little brother was just throwing darts, trying to be like him, but he ended up being blown apart. But what else could he have done? His father was gone and his older brother had been in the streets since he was 12 years old. His body laying in the pavement cold, black and blue, a lifeless body if you ever sue. And standing over him, he said that he would not rest until every single person who harmed his brother was dead. He turned sick like Charles Manson. He's spazzing out, pulls out the handgun, starts hunting, killing every single one of his villains. And when he takes the souls of 10 people, he has accomplished what he wished, but the pain and sorrow is just as equal as it had been. He's been scarred and burned, a hole deep inside. He can't run from it this time. He sits down on the curb, he begins to drown with tears, when a low rider pulls up, and out the window comes a hand with an Uzi. He's stuck in his place, there's no point in making this car chase, and he decides to face the fear of death. The clip is unloaded, left his body shredded, and his last thoughts were of death and despair. He had not an ounce of joy, nothing to look back at and smile. Yes, smile, it had been such a long while, but now he was just a body laying dead, and nobody no longer cared for the kid who had all the talent in the world. And this happens every single day, yet who is there to help? Nobody. We must understand that although you may live in a perfect land, there is still a place that nobody cares of. Maybe we can fix this mess that they've been forced into and at least give them a chance to be their very best.